So I look at this list, and so I see one team that has found their way right back up the middle, and that just so happens to be the Michigan Wolverines.
Mhm.
Of course, winning a national championship on Harbaugh's way out, completely dodging any sort of repercussions from what he did with that
Mhm.
organization by going over to the NFL. But I think a lot of it has to do with this young man right here, Bryce Underwood.
Uh-huh.
From what I understand, we saw Dave Portnoy sign him to a mega deal on NIL, right?
Mhm.
And most Michigan fans are saying, hey, like we keep talking about Penn State and we keep talking about Ohio State as
Mhm.
being the perennial Big Ten conference championships. Watch out for the Michigan Wolverines with their brand new 5-star quarterback.
Mhm.
I got to ask you, are we buying into that right now with Bryce Underwood being able to potentially bring this team into playoff contention? Because I got to tell you, Jay Tuck, their schedule is pretty favorable. I'm
Mhm.
not going to lie to you.
Mhm.
Talk to me.
Yeah, when it comes to Bryce Underwood and actually Michigan, the one thing is like he's inexperienced, as he already mentioned. But we all seen Michigan scheme. It doesn't take a terrific quarterback for them to get over the hump, right? They're going to have a good offensive line, solid run game, solid defense, and they're going to play Michigan football. So now that you do have a quarterback that can pretty much command the ship, it should put them over in the runs of things as far as the Big Ten's concerned. But it's the inexperience I really can't trust, so we'll have to sit back and
Yeah.
wait and see. But I think that Michigan will definitely be improved versus what they had the quarterback the last year. And then even with JJ McCarthy, right? JJ McCarthy didn't have to do much at the University of Michigan during that run that they had. So if they can reel Bryce in, make sure there's not mega turnovers, that can control the tempo, nickel and dime, get it to your playmakers, I feel like Michigan's going to be much improved. Will they be in the top of the Big Ten? Probably, because they beat Ohio State last year, so they're able to win ball games. So I think being vastly improved at the quarterback position should help. But like I said, he's very inexperienced. So what to say back and see, because once you get there, big time college football, you might get a little shaking and rattle a little bit under pressure. So we'll see how the kid fares out.
Now, are they making a mistake? So are they making a mistake for rushing him out year one? It's not
Oh,
confirmed yet that he's been named QB1, but I think it's pretty clear that he's going to be. Would you say that it's a mistake?
no, because that's where the money is.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Fair
so
enough. Fair enough.
it's a different dynamic this year in college. Just this era in college football, because you're paying more than likely you're playing, right? Because it could be a situation where someone else offers him more money next year. You could lose the kid, right? So I think they're really going to try to get the opportunity out there for him to play early. Now, he might not start originally out the gate, right? But I think you're probably by 2 to 3 weeks, he will definitely be the starter, if not even earlier. So I don't think it's a mistake. Let the kid take his lumps. If he's the most talented quarterback on their roster, which I do believe he does, he has the biggest upside potential. So you want him to cut his lumps and get ready. So then by the time you're going through the Big Ten and things kind of get thick for you at the end of the season, that he'll be ready, take his lumps. And like you said, when you have a young quarterback, the scheme can sometimes help him. The running game can also help them. So you have to kind of just mold him in that mold. And I think eventually he'll be able to take off and excel in this offense.
So it's a hot take, man. But like I mentioned, like this schedule starting off the season against New Mexico.
Mexico, right,
Okay. Oklahoma, who
right.
we did give flowers to earlier in the episode for having a very good defensive line. That's going to be a test. But
Mhm.
J Tuck, if this dude gets past Oklahoma, like he
Right.
has Central Michigan win. I love them against Nebraska, surprisingly enough.
Mhm.
I'm not a Rayola fan. We
Right.
have
Even though he
Wisconsin.
looks like Mahomes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. And there's only one Mahomes. All right.
Right.
Uh, so have Wisconsin, who I think their head coach is going to be fighting for his job in the first place.
Mhm.
USC, that could
Mhm.
be a toss up, but I'm going to lean Michigan here. Washington, Michigan State, Purdue, probably the worst team in the Big Ten. Northwestern, Maryland, and to top off the final game of the season against Ohio State, which, let's be
Mhm.
completely honest with ourselves, Michigan has owned Ryan Day
Right. He
for the
has.
past.
But Ryan Day got that new extension. So hopefully that should change according to Ohio State fans. But yeah, so looking at the schedule, I will 1000% start him now, looking at the schedule, because you can kind of get that filler game versus New Mexico, right? He might take his lumps versus Oklahoma, but after that, like you said, it should be smooth sailing. So yeah, I would probably think the kid is probably going to start. Yeah.